Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time! Drivers, start your engines!
And gentlemen, start your engine!
And welcome back to the Green White Checker Podcast. I am Andrew. I'm joined with Joe and Zach. Drake is following his singing career and is at a concert tonight. But we have a Dega recap for you. Got a lot to go over, really. I mean, we had a crazy finish in the Cup race, and the Xfinity race was kind of like, was it Atlanta or Daytona where they had fuel problems? Either one. It's we'll go over both here. But I guess we'll just start off. Tyler Reddick wins at Dega in the Cup race.
Sure did.
McDowell had it up till the end.
Ford fumbled the bag.
Yeah,
so badly.
Toyota tried to as well. But
oh yeah,
Toyota wasn't leading with like 6 cars on the inside line. On the
that's true.
lap.
Yeah,
that's true. But they took out a lot of good cars.
If you didn't watch the race, what happened is coming to the checkered flag in the tri-oval, McDowell throws multiple blocks, basically, comes down, gets, I think he just got loose, really, and then Brad pushed him into the wall, basically, causing a massive wreck, and Tyler Reddick just keeps his foot in it and steals the win. I mean, he was probably, about 4th or 5th place when that wreck started. If you go back and watch the replay, Noah Gragson, if he wasn't playing the Ford team member, that's his race. He wins that thing. But Reddick steals it, man. I'm so happy. Like, yay, we're in the playoffs again. Not a track I thought I'd see it coming at.
And it's awesome that MJ was there too.
That's
that's gotten us a bunch of free publicity.
Yeah. I mean, MJ holding Bo right after the race is like, oh, dude, that little kid has no idea what that is. Like, you're being held by the GOAT in basketball.
I think, who was saying it, but apparently like Bo, he's like, oh, MJ's the sneaker guy. He doesn't even know that he's like the GOAT. So it's just crazy to that's how he knows him, and he's gonna have that forever, which is so cool.
Yeah, I saw Reddick say that, which is hilarious, but yeah, it was crazy. McDowell does say after the race that he threw too many blocks, and I'm not going to disagree. But
yeah, the first one was fine. That second one was not okay.
Yeah.
Just can't leave the bottom.
Well, the thing is, you gotta mirror drive better, right? You gotta mirror the guy. You can't let him start to go low, then go low. You gotta just stay in front of him. I mean, we saw this at Daytona when Ryan Newman had his big wreck. It was kind of the same thing. We've seen Logano do it God knows how many times. It's just one block, usually you're fine. 2 or 3, not a chance. And, Yeah, I mean, actually, that's what got McDowell's 500 win.
Well, I was thinking, and it was Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
Brad Keselowski, who wasn't taking a bad block from Joey Logano. So, yeah, it's kind of funny.
They got that Penske Alliance front row and turned into Joey Logano.
Michael McDowell, he channeled his inner Penske driver for sure.
So, do you guys blame McDowell for throwing those blocks?
Yes.
The first one, no. The second one, yes.
Yeah. First one's okay. Second one.
But I'm saying, like, as a driver, you're trying to make it into the playoffs, right? You need that win in an FRM car, right? Ford hasn't won a race. This is your shot. I'm doing anything I can to win. Just like last week in the Xfinity race, I would have put Sam Mayer in the wall. I would have, I would have tried to block too. But
I don't know if McDowell's in a desperate situation. Like if you're saying last year, I would agree with you. But like now, they're a top tier Ford team. They're going to have a lot more opportunities to win, especially with the road courses coming up. We know how good he is there. So I mean, maybe he's still holding on to that mentality of, he's been in it for so long, that situation of I have to win when I can kind of thing.
Right.
But I think he's going to have a lot more opportunities than what he's used to. Of course, I say that Ford is just absolute dog shit right now. But whenever they do find speed, I think he'll have more opportunities to win for sure.
Going into this week, he was 23rd in points. He is now 26th in points.
Right. So it's like,
Does that change it any?
should you be willing to just throw everything away? Like, same thing with Denny Hamlin last week, right? Like, should you be willing to just throw everything away because for a win, or you know what, I'm just going to take the points, the top 5 points. Like, that's still a good day. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's worth it. I'm not a driver, so I can't say if it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
I don't think it is, but whatever. It's not me behind the wheel.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think at that point you need to go for it. I really do. And it bit him, but maybe he does go to a road course and rebounds. Who knows, right?
And I
We've
kind of
seen
just
him perform really well at road courses.
I just re-looked at it, and like if he doesn't throw that second block, he's cooked because he's got no like Reddick's not even close to him, and Brad's already hooked up with Noah. So I mean, you got to throw the block. You just got to do a better job at it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a little bit of a watch party in Discord, and obviously I said last week on the podcast I'd bet McDowell plus 4,000. So I was very happy until McDowell got turned. Then I was very mad, and then I was very happy when Reddick won. It was like so many emotions in such a short period of time. But yeah, interesting finish, good finish, I guess, if that's the craziness of super speedways, right? Obviously, you had Josh Berry and Corey LaJoy get up. Corey LaJoy flips. Berry didn't. He just got like all 4 tires off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Box doesn't really show it. They show LaJoy on the side.
Doesn't really. They didn't show shit.
Yeah, it was about 5 minutes after the fucking checkered flag they finally showed it. Also, that whole time they show Kyle Busch as the winner.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that was crazy. You had freaking LaJoy going Herbie D or whatever that movie was. Like, no, we're good. We'll just show the wide angle. Okay, that doesn't help us.
No, but luckily there's fans that have the roof cams and in-car cameras from the NASCAR website, so we've seen it multiple times from better angles than Fox shows us, which is sad.
Yeah,
but to be expected.
Besides for that, the rest of the race, how did we feel about stage 1, stage 2, and then let's just go all the way up to the last 20 laps?
I mean, I'll give you all the way up to the last lap. It's garbage.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't do anything. Like, I mean, I don't hate the fuel saving as much as other people do. I remember at Daytona, I was sort of defending it, and I'll sort of say the same thing. Like, I don't hate it. I hate the reason why they have to do it. Like, they're doing it, and I keep seeing all this stuff all over Twitter and various podcasts everywhere, people talking about, how do we readjust these stages or shorten the race to make it so you don't have to save fuel? Like, that's not the issue. You're not asking how do we get these guys to stop saving fuel. Ask why is saving fuel so prevalent now? Why is it so important? It's because you cannot make up track position out on the track. The only way to gain spots is on pit road by having a pit stop that's 3 or 4 tenths shorter than the next guy. And that's the problem. Like, I mean, the old anecdotal Dale Earnhardt running from 18th to the lead in, 3 or 4 laps, whatever that was at Talladega. Like, that just doesn't happen. It can't happen in this car. So that is the issue, not the length of the race, the length of the stages. People are saying, oh, I'll take this over the single file train, but like, is this really better? I don't. Is it really much different?
Fake 3 wide racing,
right? And I hate that we don't like to shout out DBC very often, but one of my I did hear a really good quote. One of them said, I think it was funny enough, Brett said about it's like watching a football game where they all walk, like they're not allowed to run, they're just walking. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty good. Like it
is.
They're running 70% throttle, and then what really irritates me is like you see guys like Moody and some other like NASCAR shills talking about how this has like 72 lead changes. It's like it's because nobody wanted to lead.
Same thing in Atlanta, right?
Everybody. I don't remember Atlanta being like this though. Was it?
Remember Todd Gilliland went up there and led a bunch of laps? So did
Yeah.
BJ
Yes.
McLeod, just like on Sunday.
Yeah, our king
know?
BJ.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like, nothing against BJ, but like we know he's not running an A-tier motor at Talladega. So if he's able to just go up there and power to the front, like nobody's really in it. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to like super speedways less and less. Like each time we go to one, except for Atlanta, which for some reason seems to be really enjoyable. But like Daytona and Talladega, I don't know. I'd
is
argue they're our worst product
it is so
currently.
frustrating. But like echoing off the whole like you can't move like Dale Earnhardt did. Because I mean, what with like 5 to go, Chase and the Hendrick boys were they were like 15th, 17th, 20th range. I'm like, well, they're done because they can't do anything. And they tried to get that third line going with like 5 to go, and then it just kind of fizzled out immediately. And I don't know why. I mean, well, the package sucks. That's why. But it's like they could not get anything going, and I have 5, 7 cars, so they had enough cars to make something happen. But just you can't go anywhere, and it's not fun, right? I mean, I think I saw, they always show all the like popular races in history. I saw the one where they were tandem drafting, where it was all the Hendrick boys and Boyer, and like I'm not saying bring back tandem drafting, but even that was more fun because there was moves to be made, and I think Jimmy and whoever he was drafting with, made the move on the tribal, and it was
the closest finish ever in NASCAR.
Yeah, but like even that was. Like, I'm not saying tandem drafting bring it back, but like that was fun to like watch versus this crap.
Mm-hmm.
And this crap is a low bar, granted, but still.
I also blame manufacturer racing for ruining super speedway.
Yes,
I hate it so much. I think people talk about like, oh, do you want to go back to single file racing? You know why single file racing was so prevalent is because of the manufacturer alliances. I saw like a picture somebody shared. It was like 3 Fords, a Chevy, and then 2 Fords. It's like, well, what's anybody going to do? The Chevy's going to try to jump out and make a move, and the Fords are just going to cut them out because that's team orders, and you just stay in line. So
yeah,
before this car, I think a lot of the shitty super speedways are owed to manufacturer racing, manufacturer alliance racing. I hate it.
Yeah, that's funny you brought that up. So during the Xfinity race, when it was getting down to the last few laps, it was, I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it was like Austin. It might have been Kyle Sieg actually leading, and then it was the 48. God damn it, Parker Kligerman, and then it was another Ford, and they're like, "Oh, when's Parker gonna make a move?" It's like he's not.
He's not going.
Why would you? Yeah, why would you step out when you know there's a Ford behind you? All that's going to happen is you're going to step out, and that next Ford's going to go to the Ford in front,
right?
And they're just going to push each other, and you're going to go to the back. But
that's
what's going to happen.
They all have that agreement to stick with each other until the last lap of the stage or the last lap of the race. Like that's why you saw what you saw in the single train era. It's because of these manufacturer alliances.
Yep.
I hate them.
So you're talking about manufacturer alliances. You remember when Jimmy Johnson said, "Hey, we're going to go to Toyota. We don't want any help. We're not going to be that team player." What did they do on Sunday?
They wrecked themselves.
But they were the team player. They went in with the Toyotas.
I mean, you have to though at play tracks. I think he means he doesn't want to share like info and stuff like that. But like, if you're not willing to work at your manufacturer, like you're just ruining your own race. You have to with the way it is. I wish you didn't have to. I wish you go back to the days where a driver could just be selfish, not even worry about teammates, like just cutting up through the field. When you saw a gap, you went for it. When you saw a run, you took it. Like, or when you had a run, you took it. Like, it was just so much better.
Yep. Oh, you froze for a second there, Zach.
That reminds me real quick on that. It's like, I think with it was the Daytona 500 after Brad and Joey wrecked. They're all like, we have to be together so the captain can get a win. And like, I was like, stop, shut up, just race, you dum-dums. Oh, that was I hated hearing. Like, I get it. You want to wreck your teammate and cost the Daytona 500, but like, damn it, just go for the win, Bobby. Like, good Lord.
Yeah. I don't hate team racing, like within an organization, Penske, JGR, Hendrick, whatever. I don't love it, but I don't hate it as much as like full manufacturer.
Manufacturer.
Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, the team one, we've seen them bite people in the ass, mainly in the Xfinity, where
Oh, it's great. I
Holly's
love it.
running like 1, 2, 3, and they lose the race, and then you had Junior Motorsports 1, 2, 3, 4, and they lose the fucking race. It's just like, what are you doing? How like at that point you're just like, how did you blow this? But yeah, the manufacturers
I mean,
like
today you had
all
Ford,
Toyotas had to stay with Toyotas. Yeah.
or Sunday you had Ford leading the race and they blew it.
Yeah.
I think if Michael didn't block so high on the first block, he still wins.
Yeah.
Good
He had,
possibility,
he had a lot of ground to cover on that second block.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Brad wasn't gonna, like you said, Joe. If Brad gets underneath Michael, Michael's got nobody behind him. Well, if you just take Brad up a lane and then cut back down to the bottom, who's gonna help push Brad
Yeah, you're
around?
hoping Reddick
Yeah.
gets up there, but I
And
mean,
N-
honestly,
Noah's-
Noah's probably just going to stay low and push whoever's in front of him at that point.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I think if Michael wouldn't have went up so high, he probably would have had that. But
Yeah.
I mean, they're figuring all this stuff out in tenths of a second.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He did
it's
what he
how
thought
it
he had
is
to
at
do.
these tracks. But we mentioned Toyota playing the team game or manufacturer game, and going into stage 3, it was about 20 laps in, maybe a little less. All the Toyotas pit, right? Good idea. Everybody else is trying to save fuel, so they figured if we pit early, we have enough fuel, we can run full throttle and gain time.
And then
But
John Hunter Nemechek existed.
yeah, well, so before I get to that though, the Fords had already planned to run full throttle. So that's how the Fords moved up. And they were trying to run the Chevys out of gas. So it would have been interesting to see what happened. But we didn't get there because, as Zach was just saying, John Hunter Nemechek decides to push the pusher, and not well.
No, not at all.
Pushes Bubba kind of squirrely. Bubba then goes and clips Eric Jones. And this is one of the hardest accidents I've seen in a very long time. Eric Jones hit head on. I hate to say it, it looked a lot like Earnhardt's in my mind because you had that little like clip from the right rear just to go head on into it. I know in Discord we're like, oh fuck, hopefully Eric's okay. Hopefully he gets out of his car. Fox doesn't update us at all. They just kind of move on, show pit stops, and then talk about the fuel strategy game that's now over. And then they interviewed 2 drivers. Who was it? The 23 and then John Hunter. Bubba and John Hunter. It was weird. Like, give us an update. Like, this dude just hit the wall a ton.
They're probably in
But
commercial.
nothing.
Yeah,
But
probably.
after they weren't in a commercial, surprisingly. But
They're probably in
they did
commercial
give
when it
us
came out.
probably about 10 minutes later, an update said Eric Jones was released from the in-care the
Care
hospital
center.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Care center. There you go. Which was a shock. Like, we saw the Twitter posts where he was complaining about his back and said on the radio, my back. And it's just like, oh no, this is bad. But I mean, obviously he got out of the car, made it to the infield care center. We did hear after the race, he went back and they sent him to the hospital. And then we heard he was released from the hospital. It's like, Jesus Christ, okay, he's fine. He's just in pain. No, he went to a specialist. He has
I think it was the technical term.
you broke up there.
Compression.
Some sort of lower vertebrae.
Compression.
Yeah, compression back
fracture.
pressure. Yeah.
One of his vertebrae in his lower back. So he is probably going to be out. What was Bowman's? About 4 weeks?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
About
It
4
sounded
weeks.
like a Hamlin Bowman type of injury.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be just 1 week. He'll be out a month or so. I can even Google that right now. How long
I'd
this?
say probably like 4 to 6 weeks is my guess. And even then, I mean, Bowman's been struggling since. And Hamlin struggled all season after his, I hate it for Eric Jones. Like,
So
good dude, really nice guy.
Hope this is not the case, but sorry.
I know he's finally back on Toyota. Like, he's getting some push to hopefully be in a better car. And then this happens. Like, God damn, man. Just can't catch a break. But
sorry.
Corey Haim's going to be replacing him. Oh, go ahead.
I was per penmedicine.org, 8 to 10 weeks. So that's not good. Hopefully less, but I that's WebMD Google search, but yeah, not great. But sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I
He
know
will get a
Bowman had a
waiver. I
concussion
did see
fracture.
that. I did see
Yes.
NASCAR's granting him the waiver.
He's got to get a
So-
win then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get a win.
Yeah. But at least he's still got a waiver. Which,
Yeah.
if you get her on track, I feel like they have to give you a waiver. Like they
I
can't
agree.
not.
Yeah, it sucks for him. It really does. It sucks for that team, but Corey Himes getting a chance to, move up from the trucks and show what he's got. Good for him, I guess. Make the most of your situation. But hell,
They say
maybe
that trucks drive more like these Cup cars than the Xfinity car does. So
I mean, we've seen Carson move up and run pretty well.
That's exactly right. Carson moved up, and he seems to do pretty good. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's your John Hunter replacement right there. I mean, he's racing for his right next year.
Well, I mean, I think it depends on what happens with Martin Truex. If Martin goes this year, then you got an open seat over there in the 19. Who's taking that?
I don't know. There's a lot of young guns, I feel like, in Toyotas that could possibly move up.
Yeah,
but
they got a couple.
I don't know if Heim would move all the way from the trucks. I guess he could. Who knows? But how do you guys feel about the broadcast commercial wise?
Awful.
Yeah, where do we begin? Good Lord.
Yeah.
How do you take a commercial? I know where we begin. How do you take a commercial with 5 laps to go in the stage? Like, you hype these stages up, like we have these stages, so they race really hard at the end of the stage, especially at super speedways, to get them stage points. And you go to commercial, and then they came back, I think, like with a little, like 3 to go, and then they're hemming and hawing and talking about some other nonsense and showing some other like replay or something like that. It wasn't until 2 to go did we come back to like a full screen picture of what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, are you?
I think it was stage 2 or 3. I counted. They went to commercial like lap 10, then lap 19, lap 27, and then 3 laps later, lap 30 of it was stage 2. So and I guess the thing with commercials is like obviously we need them, right? We need them. We need the money, the TV money, but we're not like ball sports where there's timeouts all the time. Well, I guess there's the stage breaks, but you know what I mean? Like where there's like, your kickoff, your touchdown in football or whatever. So we don't have those like dead ball times so frequently to have them, but do side by side during green flag. And then I don't care if you do 100 commercials during yellow flag. That's fine. Just come back for pit stops and then come back and say X team got a penalty and then go back to racing.
I mean,
I know
we're not the downside is, not to cut you off, Joe, but we're not having yellow flags because the car isn't harder to drive at normal tracks.
Exactly.
We're not having yellow flags at super speedways because they're all running 70%. Even though they're 3 wide, it looks exciting. Nobody's actually driving very hard. So it's like they don't have these opportunities, and I agree with you. I think stage breaks, I think I said before, if you want to have commercial break from the end of the stage until we go green, I am fine with it. If it cuts down on commercials during the race. I don't need to see the stage pit stops. You can update me when we get back. That's fine.
Yeah.
And don't count the laps.
I think if we had a producer that actually knows racing, they would know when to go to commercial, right? So when we're just cruising around saving fuel and not really passing, guess what? Commercial. Great time. When we're about to go to pit stops, because it seems like every week when we're about to go to green flag pit stops, guess what happens? Commercials. And we miss pit stops. It's like, come on, man. Like, this is the exciting thing of the race because this race fucking sucks because this car is not great. But
it's terrible.
As Joe said, that like lap 10, we went to commercial. Okay, that's 25 miles into the race. At Martinsville, it was lap 11. That's 6 miles into the race. Not even 6 miles into the race. And we're already at commercial? Like, come on. We bitch about Fox week and week and week, and it's just, Jesus Christ, fix it, please. Like, the amount of attention it's finally getting is awesome to me.
I think Fox in general is getting just hammered. Like, the broadcast is so bad. And
so I don't know if you guys noticed this, at least like the beginning of the race. couple weeks ago, we had the whole Hendrick Motorsports thing, right? Big deal. Had to talk about it nonstop.
Yeah.
Robert Yates. They were talking about it so much, like some anniversary for Robert Yates, and they're doing this and this and all this. And I'm like, they feel pressured, like that they have to talk about this now. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I laughed, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
bad. Let's see what else we got to talk about. We talked about fuel mileage. Larson was not allowed to qualify because a team member messed with the roof rails after tech inspection.
Those cheating
Can't do
Toyotas,
that.
I'll tell you.
Yep. Yeah.
In case anybody's not aware, that's a meme we always do in our Discord because everybody used to say anytime Toyotas do anything, everybody's like, "Oh, them Toyotas cheat all the time. Them Toyotas cheat," and they completely forget that Hendrick and everybody else cheats constantly too. So
Ain't cheating, ain't trying.
Yeah. It was like what the piece of tape on Denny's front bumper or whatever it was.
Oh
that
yeah,
everyone
poking out.
yeah,
But Hendrick, has louvers and all this other
it's
stuff.
fully
and, like,
illegal louvers, completely illegal parts on all four
a
cars.
little clear piece of tape that literally did nothing, but
All
a
four cars
manufactured part that's
they definitely didn't race those parts on at all. 100%. I promise. We didn't. We swear. Dude, that I don't want to get going on that, but like the fact
Yeah.
that Dale Jr. went to their appeals hearing was like so funny to me. Like it was just such like a, I don't know, like a grease in the wheels kind of thing.
Well, my favorite was they gave, who was it? Was it one of the colleague cars or something? One of their louvers, and it was modified, and they got the penalty, and then didn't get off. They still got fined and all that shit.
I think it was from Hendrick.
It was. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a different thing. It was a different team, but they borrowed it from Hendrick because they didn't have one. Like, they wrecked their car in practice or something,
Right.
and they get the penalty. NASCAR keeps the fine and the points penalty, and they're like, Hendrick, no, you're fine. It's okay.
I think they
Get your
later
points back.
did change it so colleague didn't get points, but yeah, it was like really fucking weird.
Yeah.
The whole thing. But anyway.
So I went back to our sheet from last year and I was looking at it. End stages, please, for Talladega. Do you think that would help with the fuel mileage problems where we're saving fuel? Or do
No,
you think it would just lead to single file?
I don't think anything
trains?
will help it because the car sucks. Like that's we keep trying to fix the problem in different ways. Like, but the problem is the car. It's the race ability of the car. It's the ability to develop a third lane to make moves and this, that, and the other thing. It's not. It's not like fuel strategy only matters because that's the only place you can pass.
Yeah. Too much drag on the car?
I don't know. When you're talking all this stuff, I have no idea. I've heard a bunch of different things. They talk about drag. They talk about the diffuser. They talk about I don't drafting stuff. I have no idea about the aerodynamics. But the one thing I will say is I think, and I remember thinking this at the end of Gen 6, is I thought we had that Gen 6 Super Speedway package like perfect right before we went to the Gen 7. I was kind of worried going into the Gen 7 because I remember we did have a few years of like, Gen 6 Super Speedways isn't that great, kind of sucks. But I feel like, what was it, 21? I feel like all the races, all the Super Speedways, maybe there's one that wasn't good, but most of them felt like they were pretty nice.
Yeah. I honestly, and this might sound weird, I think we need to run the short track package at super speedways
Maybe, I
because
don't know.
they've removed all the aero, which perfect. That's going to help with the drag. I think if we put a smaller spoiler on the rear, you're going to remove the drag. And now what that's going to do is it's going to allow that back car that when they get that run from, drafting, they can move out and they're not going to just have the air stop them, basically, not get hit with just the drag, right? That
Mm-hmm.
is so, I mean, we've heard it. Like you just mentioned that the cup car races a lot like the truck. Well, yeah, it's because they both have a lot of drag, which is crazy because the truck's got a full fucking cab and nothing behind it, whereas the cup car's a car. But yeah, I think if remove some of the aero underbody stuff, lower the spoiler, let's see how it runs.
Yeah, why not?
I think yeah.
I
But what do I know?
when do we
I'm just some guy on a podcast in Iowa.
is the Gen 7 a success? Do we call it that? It just feels
No.
like we have to keep changing things on it. Like the short track package sucks. Road courses suck. Super speedways suck. The only thing that's like a
Like it is
win
1.5.
is your mile and a half, which we've taken a
Yeah.
lot of them off the schedule. We lost 2 Atlantas. So like, is this? And I would even argue that the mile and a halves aren't that great, but they're better than what we got with the Gen 6.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree there.
I would argue that. Well, they're better than we got with low downforce 550 Gen 6. I still have yet. I want to go back and watch the original Gen, because there was like 3 different additions to that car too. I guess that's when we really
Yeah.
started with constantly chasing the car thing, was Gen 6. Well, no, not true. We did it with the COT as well. It's just funny to me. Like, it just seems like ever since we went away from the Gen 4, we've been chasing the Gen 4. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's
Just
just
do the Gen
constantly,
4.
how can we get that back?
I mean, Gen 4 was a good car. I feel like the COT was fine, just the whole
I don't hate it.
flipping all the time. I mean, so you remove
Yeah,
the spoiler.
I think that was the only big change, right? Was the spoiler and that front
Yeah.
splitter. They changed that up. But other than that, I
Yep.
think the car stayed pretty similar. But, I
Yep.
mean, yeah, I'd agree with that. From what I've seen from the COT, I was expecting these races to suck, but I'm like halfway through 2009, and COT's just fine.
No, everybody wanted to hate the COT because it had a, Ricer spoiler on it to begin with, and that's when the economy was on the downturn. So everyone's like, "Oh, NASCAR sucks," blah, And I didn't mind the races; they weren't awful.
Yeah, they're
The
pretty
Gen
good.
4 was better, but
Yeah.
you can't have perfection. You got to adjust at some time, right?
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. It's just funny. Like, it just seems like we keep talking this conversation, and I don't want to have the conversation. I just want the car to be good, but it just isn't. And we keep having these conversations of, we have to change this package, we have to change that package. It's just, ugh.
yeah, what was it? Mark Martin said, "What is downforce?"
Yeah.
Like
Take it
cars
away.
back then didn't have any, so
It's so
but
funny. It's like we're having all these problems with what I believe can be the simplest car in the world. Like I feel like a stock car, like we were talking about last week, a stock car. What makes a good stock car is actually a very simple recipe.
yeah.
It's
4 wheels and a
Yeah.
steering wheel.
but we didn't make a stock car. We made a sports car, and now we're trying to do stock car things with it. And we're trying to have a single car. And I was thinking about this too. Like, I talk about how diverse our schedule is with mile and a half, road courses, super speedways, short tracks, and they want to use a single car at all those different, wildly different types of tracks. Like, I don't know how well that's going to work. You know,
I
you
kind of
almost,
miss having different cars for, super
so do
speedways
I.
coming at, and they're just like all smooth and closed up in the
Yeah.
front. And then you'd go to a short track or a road course car. Oh my God, those road course cars just had grills the whole front end, basically.
Yeah. Like, they
And
were
it was just
cool
like,
and like
yeah,
unique. And like, you saw like, it's kind of cool because you saw the skill of the team coming out in the car, right? Because they would like build these cars for weeks, especially super speedway cars. Like, some teams, they would just focus on that, and they would have really fast cars. Um, so I don't know, but we wanted them all closer together, I guess. So we got that.
yep.
The NASCAR did. The fans didn't.
Well,
Okay.
Oh.
Xfinity.
I didn't
Again,
get to watch much of this. I
we
was
had a lot
under a
of
Nissan
single
Rogue.
file racing, at least for like the first 2 stages. And it was funny. I can't remember who was in the booth, if it was Suarez or who, but they kept saying, "Why are they running the high line?" It was just like, you have all these guys up against the high line. And he's like, if they ran the middle, nobody'd be able to pass them. But you get the, 6-car train on the bottom every once in a while, it would get up there and eventually just break up. But you got a lot of guys that aren't experienced enough to know how to race properly at a super speedway, I think. And I mean, first stage was Austin Hill just dominating. Then the second stage, Jesse Love gets it. And it's just, it wasn't exciting racing in my mind. Granted, with 2 to go in stage 1, they got a little racy, and then Allgaier ends up wrecking, destroying his car, hit really hard on the inside wall. But
Isn't there a way we can design these walls to not have like a portion of it sticking out?
You'd
Like, I know
think.
you need to have
I mean,
an
all you'd
exit,
have to
but can't you
do,
like have them overlap or something like that?
yeah,
Like, sort of have like a shootout
yeah,
kind of thing where the wall
yeah,
never deviates out.
yeah. All it would be is you'd have a 10-foot longer slide distance to hit the wall where that is, but I don't know. We can't figure it out apparently. But he hit a ton. I mean, that car got airborne, everything.
Of course, I guess if you do
He was
that, you're still
fine.
gonna have that to hit. I don't know, man. It's got to be. Maybe even we have like these. This might be a dumb idea, but like where we have these escape chutes for your emergency vehicles, a wall that actually just raises and lowers. Like, I mean, is that a bad idea? Now you might have it might
Yeah.
delay your getting out to the track for an
Response.
emergency by a couple seconds.
I
Because
don't
you gotta
know.
wait for the wall to drop. But
You just what you do is out of turn 2, you extend the wall, right? Let's go
mhm,
10 feet farther out into the track. And then where your emergency vehicle is, you bring that wall straight, right? 10 feet in, so they got a lane to go out, and it's still straight. All it
yeah,
is there's that little extra area. And then guess what? You want to reset it? Turn 3 and 4, you can bring that wall back out. Not a hard concept. It's just, do they want to do it? Do we need that big of a runoff area on the backstretch?
I don't
Like,
know.
I mean, we see hard hits there, but I don't know. I don't think the track needs to be that wide. If they really wanted to, they could get rid of some of that, but I don't know. It's fixable. It's just, do they have the time, money, all that shit?
Another dumb idea. What
But
if you put like a gravel trap in there, like 20 feet out from the wall? Would that be dumb? That'd probably get gravel in the end.
oh, that would flip cars over
Would it?
so badly.
Not the
Oh
whole
yeah.
way down, not the whole way down the backstretch, but like maybe just like exiting the corner where you risk that spinning off of 2 and coming down into the wall.
Mm.
Like,
I'm
I
not
don't, I
putting
don't.
anything that could grab a car and turn it.
I guess that's true. That's sort of why we paved over Daytona, just because of grass and all that stuff. That's a good point. Dumb
Yeah.
idea.
I don't know. Just the wall sticking out at, anything more than a 90-degree angle.
Mm.
But let's see what else we got. I mean, that was pretty much the race with 2 to go
How
in the
did?
race.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I have a question that maybe you can answer.
Austin Hill's leading and loses it. I don't think he got hit to begin with, but Parker gets into him, and then Alfredo ends up following, causing a decently big one. We go into green, white, checkered. And at this point, everybody's freaking out about fuel, right? We got guys saving left and right. We go green. Instantly, cars are out of gas. I think SVG was the first one to fall out. And then going into turn 1, I think it was Jesse Love, kind of forced his way below the yellow line, came up, hit Kligerman, who then went up and took out, I want to say no, not Sieg. Josh Williams. That's who it was. Causing another green, white, checkered. And then we have another one. People are running out again. Like, why wouldn't you pit at this point? But basically, Jesse Love holds on and wins. Cool. Good. I mean, great for the kid.
He seems like a nice guy.
He had one. Yeah, he had one stolen away from him. And like I said, I can't remember if it was Daytona or
It was
Atlanta. Was it Atlanta? See, I thought it was Daytona.
Nope.
It was his first
No,
race,
no.
I thought.
Nope.
Okay.
It was Atlanta. He ran out because I remember they asked him if he was saving fuel, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine," and he wasn't.
Yeah. So I mean, he wins a fuel mileage race. He had it stolen from him before. He wins it. Cool. I wasn't too enthused with how this one ended. The whole fuel mileage and just kind of a shit show from NASCAR. So on the second green, white, checkered, right? We go green, and somebody loses gas just past the start and finish line. They get hit and they swerve down towards like the inside wall, overcorrect, and comes back across the track right in front of like half the field. No caution at all. And at first, I'm just like, this doesn't mean anything. Until I saw AJ Allmendinger's onboard, right? So, why I bring that up is there was a dash for cash. You had Kyle Sieg, Dinger, then, I don't know, 2 other guys. I think it was Allmendinger, or not, Allgaier and somebody else. Allgaier and whoever it was wrecked out real early in this race. So it's up to Sieg and Dinger. Dinger's damaged heavily. Sieg was leading laps, has a flat tire with like 10 to go. He's done. He's out of this. Goes a lap down. First green white checker, though, he gets the wave around. Now he's back in the lead lap, just has to pass Dinger. The second green white checkered, when the car comes back across the track, well, guess who's on the high side? Dinger has to slow down. And as he's getting back on the gas, there goes Sieg right by him. So NASCAR not throwing the caution cost Dinger $100,000.
Tough.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad Sieg won it, but I don't know. It's kind of ticky-tacky.
How did I did see like a couple of those last restarts. How did Jesse Love not get a penalty for passing below the yellow line on that second to last restart?
See,
That's
and like
one
I
thing I
just
didn't
said,
get.
like he went below Kligerman, right?
Yeah, he
Below
went
the yellow
below
line,
Kligerman.
comes up and hits. Yeah, I
was
know.
like, how do you not get a penalty for that? I thought we were really strict on
Nobody's
that.
really talking about it, are they?
No,
Like he
I haven't
definitely
heard
went below it.
Yeah, he was clearly below it.
Are they just saying that he was avoiding a wreck?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't see it because Kligerman didn't really leave a hole there, and you go below it. I don't know. It's you say Kligerman was running out of gas?
I don't know.
I don't think he
so because
was, but
Kligerman was running at full speed and got cleaned out because of all that.
yeah. Yeah, it
I don't
was.
know.
I agree. Yeah. That's all I
Anyway.
got really for Xfinity.
Joe, did you watch the Xfinity race?
I did not watch much of it, so I cannot contribute much. But I'm glad Jesse Love won. That was fun.
Yeah.
Jesse Love won before Sheldon Creed. What do you think that means? That's
It's
like
at
a
a super
shot across
speedway.
the bow at Creed or anything? Is that?
It's a super speedway. Like you can't tell me
It
Creed
is.
didn't have shots at super speedways. He definitely did. I think Creed finished like second or third. Wait, no, that's a lie. He got damaged in one of the last cautions, but he was up there. I don't know. I think Love's a better driver. I really do, but I don't think
He's pretty good.
Creed was the problem.
I was watching him at, I think it's Tulsa Shootout.
Oh, dude, he can drive.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So is that it for Dega?
That's it. Well, there was an ARCA race. It finished.
Yeah, who cares?
I think it was Jake Finch won. That's literally the recap. There was.
There you go.
Cool. All right, next.
So the FBI is investigating the pylon disappearance that has been going on the last couple of weeks.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, it was a big deal at Texas that, the whole SMI isn't spending money in the sport. Look, their scoring tower is gone now, too. Then we go to Dega, and guess what's gone? Scoring tower.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is they told everybody just to look at your phones. Like, what terrible messaging is that?
Like, that's the Wi-Fi at these tracks is not all that great.
Well, not
anyway.
only that,
It's
but
awful.
like the idea of telling people, like what are we talking about? It's very difficult nowadays. Is retention and keeping people focused on your product.
Look at
So
your
you're gonna
phone.
have them
Don't
there
watch
at the
that
track.
race.
It's
Watch the race, guys. Watch the race. Look at your phone.
Look at your phone. I guess they figure you're already at the track, so you paid your ticket. Who cares if you don't look? But still, it's just like terrible.
Yeah, and I think they've come out and said that it's too expensive to get parts for these now, that they're obsolete, and so they just remove them. Dude, a freaking Arduino, $30 circuit board can run one of these things.
Well,
like,
what was Denny Hamlin saying about these tracks not reinvesting in their facilities?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get the lion's share of the TV money. We've proven Denny right.
And
especially like a track like Talladega, like they're making so much money.
Every
they sell out. They're selling out their camping. I mean, an RV camping spot's like $1,500, and you're telling me these guys aren't making money?
Yeah,
it's creepy, especially at a track. And they're like, I think some NASCAR guy was like, oh yeah, like we want more video board. Like I'm not like I want to see the pylon. It was like what, like when I was at Darlington last year for the 7500, right? I know it's not as big of a track as Talladega, but I went over to like turns 3 and 4 to get some like pictures or whatnot, and their scoring pylon is in turn 1. It was nice to look back and be like, oh, hey, look, I can see, like, I knew who was winning, but like I could also see, all right, where are there like changes in the running order from across the racetrack, right? Now, and I think Dale was saying that the Talladega pylon is pretty shitty anyway, like it's very old. Then just freaking fix it, right? Like I'm there to watch the
Yeah.
race, not watch a TV of the race at the track.
Well,
Like,
and
come on.
there's multiple problems. Apparently, like the TV they were told to watch were like showing replays. So they wouldn't have information. They're only showing
Yeah.
like the top 6 and all that stuff. And I get the argument that Talladega it might not be as relevant because the positions in right now
Yeah,
the 2 by
that's
2
true.
racing they don't change like they used to. But when you're having crazy pack racing stuff like that, like the positions change all the time. But still, I mean, it's a good thing to have up. And sort of like, I mean, you and Drake like to say that you're not a racetrack if you don't have a piss trough. You're not a racetrack if you don't have a scoring pylon. Like
Agree.
it's racetrack aesthetic. Like you just need to have one. Like it's these big tracks, you have to have
Yeah.
one.
Or even at
Yeah.
like Charlotte, like last year we sat in turn 1, and that's where their pylon. I think they're all in like turn 1, but like yeah, we have the big old TV out in the backstretch. But I'm looking when the cars are around, I'll like check up real quick. All right, here's top 10. Just kind of run through
Yep.
it. Just the Wi-Fi at Charlotte sucks, so I can't pull up NASCAR app fast enough to get an update. And yeah, I'll look on the big screen for a replay. Charlotte's pretty good with that, but I like the scoring pylon. Shit.
I find it so hard to believe that they're $5 million.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you guys
crazy
see
to
that?
me.
They were
I
they
saw
were
that.
talking
Yeah.
about them being
I
5
believe
million.
it. I
That
do
sounds
believe
so
it.
outlandish. I don't
I
believe it
mean,
for a second.
but so I was gonna bring it up. I went to the
Yeah,
Indy
Indy.
500 last
They
year,
got a
right?
great one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, theirs is
Yeah.
crazy.
So I'll show it on our video here. It's all LED, like
Yeah.
it's legit, and I could see that being $5 million when you can
Yeah.
do special things to it, right?
Sure.
We don't need the bells and whistles. Like,
I just
Yeah,
need a
so that's
number.
what I mean.
First
Like,
place.
are we talking like is $5 million? Like, I'm thinking like a 1993 scoring pylon with the big like circle lights on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, with the
yeah,
big circle
Yeah.
lights to make the
Light
digits and
bulbs.
stuff.
Yeah.
Is that $5 million, or is something like Indy has $5 million? Because like
I
you're
think
saying,
it's
Andrew,
like Indy.
okay, if it's Indy, then that makes sense. I can believe that.
Yeah,
But like, I
And
mean,
yeah,
you don't
that's
need
my
that.
guess.
You
well,
No,
don't
you
need
don't.
that.
and the thing too is SMI redid the North Wilkesboro one, brand new. So, and I know Talladega's not SMI, but Texas
Thanks,
is.
taxpayers.
Are y'all
Yeah,
gonna do?
SMI.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about how SMI did that, but they're not
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about how SMI, what money
Yeah.
SMI did it with.
Yeah. Y'all are welcome. I'm paying my taxes. That
Yeah,
contributes to that.
Joe
But
paid for
something,
that
Joe.
digital
yeah,
scoreboard.
Drake and I paid for that.
Yep.
But like, yeah, if they're not like, put some money into your dang tracks, Marcus. Good lord.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not a good
all of them
look,
do.
especially when Denny Hamlin's saying owners want more value or want more revenue from the sport because the tracks don't reinvest.
Yeah,
Good.
it's weird to me, and I said it last week. I don't get how you can go away from a track like Road America that is just dumping money back into the track and making everything better for the fans, and go to more SMI tracks. We've seen it over and over and over again, and I think Zach actually brought it up. Whatever happened to the LED caution lights at Texas? Where'd they go? They're gone.
I don't know. I remember seeing them.
They were awesome. I really like those.
It was one of the cooler things that I
Yeah.
think I've seen at a track. Like, it was innovative. It was cool.
I want
It
to say
looked really
Phoenix
neat
has
at
it
night.
too.
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
that's why we don't see them,
exactly.
because we don't race at night anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe they are still there.
they could be, but I mean, there's still LED lights. They'll show up at day. I don't know. Hopefully something's done, and like I said last week, that we force teams to put money into the sport, or
Mhm.
tracks to put money in the sport,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hard to do when you got greedy people like Marcus Smith.
Yep.
All right,
What else we got?
we talked about North Wilkesboro. Joe, you want to talk about the tire stuff?
I'll pull it up. But we
All-Star
had the
race.
All-Star race. They announced the format and the I'll pull up Jet or Bob's tweet actually here.
What is the format? I didn't read your thing you shared.
Let's see here. So they have the format. Format's pretty. I think the format's pretty simple. It's 200 laps. All laps count, and they have a all-star caution at laps 100 and 150.
Love it.
And then so the tire all-star race, I'm quoting Bob here. All-star race tire experiment. 2 sets of prime or slick tire from whatever tire test, and 2 sets of an option tire that are slicks but made with tread, not grooved, from rain tire. Teams must start on the option tire for the 200 lap race. Caution at lap 100 must make a 4-tire stop. Caution at lap 150 is an optional pit stop. So we're doing some tire experiments, which we like. I mean, because that's what the All-Star race is, right? You kind of mess with stuff, but they need to fix the tire on short tracks. So why not try it at North Wilkesboro?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's a free test, I guess, right? Especially
Mhm.
trying to fix your short tracks before you go to Iowa for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
here
think you
for
get
it.
anything new at Iowa. We got what we got for Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah, he might be
Because
right.
people were asking Bob about it, and they said that in order to like just manufacture enough tires is like 6 weeks out. So, and that was a couple weeks ago. So, like, in order to, that's just like after they've
So
already determined and settled on we're making this tire. It's like 6 weeks out. So
yeah,
we don't have any time for Iowa. But next time we go to Martinsville and Bristol and all that stuff, hopefully,
Phoenix, yeah, hopefully
yeah, Phoenix. Hopefully, we got something.
Richmond. Yeah. The part that I don't like is that okay, so the option tire they're forced to start with.
Yeah.
The wording's stupid.
Yeah, and then they can take those off and use whatever. I don't know. They're doing the colored Goodyear on it, just like F1 does with the softs and that. And they'll have rain tires also. So we have 3 different sets of tires going to North Wilkes.
Fuck it.
It's
Don't put any
interesting.
slicks on. Just put the rain tires on, these treaded tires, and
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, I like it. I like that they're making them because then you don't have anybody trying like anything different. Like one team on the option, one team on the prime. Like you want to have, if you really want to do a test, you want to have everybody on the same set and see how the race goes. That'll give you the best look at what you have. Not having people in different compounds and this, that, and the other thing. So like everybody's consistent across the board for that first run. So we'll see how it affects all these different cars, how they're able to race around each other and all that stuff. I think it'll give us a lot of data points for that. I think really what they should have done is not even brought a prime tire. Like just have this option tire, or maybe have the prime tire as a backup in case this thing shits the bed.
Well, the prime tire is still a softer tire, and then you have the
Is
option,
it?
which is a treaded soft tire.
Where's this prime tire from? Like, is this like a brand new
It's a
soft
new one.
tire
Yeah.
that we've never run it before?
Yes.
Okay, well then I guess that'll be interesting to see.
So it's a softer version of what we had, and then the option is a treaded, not grooved, a treaded soft tire.
Well, somebody needs to take a spoon to those soft tires and see if they can scoop out a piece of rubber. If they can't, it's not hard. It's not soft enough.
Yeah. So they're trying.
Yeah,
I feel
it'll
like
be
that's
interesting.
one of the things. They're like, hey, look what we're doing. We're doing something, guys.
So here's my question: if this stuff doesn't work, then what do you do?
Oh,
Get late models and do that for short track. It's not that hard.
no, late models have too much horsepower, Joe. Can't have
Oh,
more
I'm
horsepower.
sorry. Excuse me.
How much horsepower does
I
a
don't
late
know,
model have?
man.
They're
Like,
like 550 or 600, aren't they?
depends on the class, but I don't know. The next thing they can try is a skinnier tire, right? So soft. We're gonna grip. We're gonna have a lot of grip, and we're gonna be flying. Like North Wilkesboro
I mean, that's
is
fine.
gonna be fun.
Like
It's
hauling
fine.
ass is good. It's the fall off part. It's like how long do you want to haul ass for?
Correct.
That's correct.
I want fall off.
You can haul ass for 3, 4, 5 laps. That's great, and then you start dropping off, And then,
But one of the things we've been
exponentially.
complaining about is we have too much grip, and now we're getting a soft tire, which is gonna guess what? Have more grip.
Well, the problem is we have too much grip, and everybody falls off at the same rate. So it's like it's okay
Which
if
is
we have
never.
a lot of grip, right? Well, like they'll fall off like a few times. I mean, they do fall off over a run, but everybody's falling off the exact same amount. So
Yeah.
what you want is if I haul ass for 5 laps in these tires and start to fall off, I'm gonna lose a bunch more time than the guy who was running a couple tenths slower than me. You know, I might have gained on him from running those 5 laps, but he has more life left in his tire, so his average time is faster than mine, kind of thing. Like you want to pay for abusing your tires, and you don't right now. It
Yeah.
seems like it doesn't matter if you push the hell out of them or just ride. Like everybody still just falls off at the same rate.
Yep. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, again, they're making moves. Hopefully something
Speed being in
works.
the tire is good because that means you have a soft tire, so it should not last.
Yeah. All right, Connor Mozak to run a handful of races in the Spire number 7 truck, starting at Kansas. I like the move. He won the ARCA race at Kansas last year when I was there. So, I mean, it's a Spire car or a Hendrick car, I should say, truck.
Hmm.
I mean, he'll be fast. Probably a good bet to place on him. I don't know, top 10, top 5, something like that on him. I'll see if I can get an interview when I'm there at Kansas, but we'll see.
Be fun.
IndyCar ratings. Joe, you were talking about it. You can go for that.
Oh boy, yeah. So just quick note on IndyCar, and this also includes F1. But so the F1 race was in China, right? That was a 3 a.m. Lights out for America. I'm assuming that's East Coast. They got 600K, right? ESPN. IndyCar, Long Beach, right? You know, besides the Indy 500, a lot of people's favorite race, I would think. 300,000. They also, their start time was right around Talladega as well. Now, people are going to, oh, it was on like USA versus NBC last year, but last year they still got 1 million. I don't care what channel you're on. 700K drop is not good.
Why are you going up against Talladega?
Yes.
Yeah.
What Talladega on main channel Fox, not Talladega on FS1. You're going up against like IndyCar has to eat some humble pie at some point and realize, okay, we are not as big of a show as NASCAR.
Yeah.
We cannot go if you're at, I don't know, pick a random track, Dover, and you go up against NASCAR. That's not as big of a deal. But going up against Talladega, that's what everybody wants to watch. That's where NASCAR gets all of its casual viewers from, is the big super speedways. So you got to be aware of that kind of stuff.
NASCAR got 4.3 milli of viewers. They were down a little bit from last year, but I mean, still, like that's a lot of that's however many more times than IndyCar and even F1, but still.
1,000 times, more than 1,000 times. But
math is hard.
Yeah, it's you can't go up against Talladega, first of all.
Nope.
They didn't advertise the fucking thing. Like, again, I never saw anything about it. I didn't know there was a race until Leroy said something in Discord about halfway through Talladega. He was like, Scott Dixon won. I was like, oh,
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know there was a race.
Yeah.
I only knew, but I kind of knew about it just because Bozzy was there for IMSA stuff, the guy, mechanic guy on Twitter, but I didn't see crap all week. Like, this is one of your top 3 races of the year besides the Indy 500, and I didn't see shit.
I don't get how you can have years and years of just horrible fucking marketing and nobody goes, maybe we should market better. Like,
I mean,
I don't know if they're still just
Michael
doing
Andretti,
paper
right?
flyers or what. Like, what are you doing? Get on social media.
Michael Andretti, he said, "What are you doing, Penske?" Like, he just seems to be proven right more and more that Penske has no idea what he's doing.
I mean, the crazy thing is, I could probably take $100 and put it towards one of like our videos anywhere, and it'll get more marketing than fucking IndyCar does for their series. Like, spend a little money, man. Promote your series.
They just rely on the 500 and they call it a day.
That's it.
And they barely advertise that.
Yeah.
Well, they're in a fortunate spot if they don't have to advertise it. Everybody already knows it.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like Daytona 500. You don't really have to advertise that. Well, actually, you do because it's on different days every year. everybody just knows Indy 500 is on Memorial Day weekend.
Yep. Okay, kill count. Welcome
boy.
to the board, Chase Elliott. You're getting three.
Yeah. You got some
And
brakes,
then-
Chase. Try to use them, you fucking wrecking ball.
Yep. And then John Hunter's also getting added. We did not add Michael McDowell. If you think we should, send us a message
Yeah.
anywhere.
Leave a comment.
Be like, yeah, he
And-
needs it.
And count out how many cars that would be too, because I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
A lot.
it was a lot.
A lot. Half the field. There you go.
McDowell's already on the board with 1, so I mean, he could probably get up there close to Bowman with 18,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Bowman's got 18. Like
Wrecking ball Bowman, as they've always
Yep.
said.
I said, send us a message, say that we should add it on YouTube, Twitter, wherever. Also, make sure to like, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening and whatever your favorite podcast platform is. And give us a thumbs up. 5-star rating helps us out a ton.
Whoop whoop.
Yep. Let's move on to Survivor.
Survivor. Let's see. Where did we all finish? We're kind of split. So Joe won this week with Stenhouse, who finished 4th. I was 2nd with Todd Gilliland, who finished 8th. So Joe and I's throwaway picks coming in big there. And then Drake had LaJoy, who was 18th. And did Joey and Corey like finish on top of each other? Like, were they in that wreck together? Because
So
Joey was 19th.
here's what makes me mad. Because if you watch that final wreck, you had cars junked, obviously, right? But Reddick and maybe like the top 5 cross the start finish line under green. Then they throw the caution. So now you've got guys that weren't in wreck. Like Joey drove through, and there was a couple of like Zane Smith and Haley. I think it was Haley. All drive through this wreck perfectly fine. They finished below guys that were wrecked because the caution came out. And it was just like, come on. I don't know. But yeah, so
well, you write NASCAR and tell them you fucked up my survivor pool pick because you're
yeah.
caution.
I only got 1 point because of you fuckers. But all right, so I'm first.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Ross.
Ross Chastain.
I'm gonna switch it. I'm going Denny Hamlin.
God damn it. That means I gotta
Yeah, you're welcome.
go through here.
Austin, since he is not here, picked Recky Stenhouse Jr.
He did indeed.
And that leads us to Zach.
Hold on, I'm fixing my stuff here because you've switched stuff around on me.
Yeah, you know what win now.
Now he will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go MTJ.
Like it.
And then me.
Oh, who you got?
Yep, Joseph.
I am gonna go with Willie B.
William Byron. Strong.
I think we got the 2 best drivers there, Denny Hamlin and Willie B. And I don't know, just seem to be the best in this car right now.
Oh.
Which leads us to Boomer of the Week.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay. This one's not so much boomer, but here we go. 2-team show. Got Hendrick with 5 wins. JGR, 3 wins. Right?
Yep.
This comment made me laugh. Fixed it. Hope Bowman gets a win soon. Got Ty Gibbs and Bowman crossed out.
Nice.
That is kind of funny. That's not really boomer.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. That's all. Oh, that's it. That's it for the week. I don't even have to look. Thank God. Like, I hate Facebook so much. But so
Actually,
we have an
appreciate that. That was funny.
OnlyFans. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. I do like it. We have an OnlyFans, and I didn't add it to the show sheet just because Jeffrey here was drunk when he submitted it. Jeffrey.
Oh boy.
Come on, Jeffrey. What you got for us?
If playing ground is car? Question mark.
Yes. Yes? I think so.
Sure, why not?
Oh,
I mean, spot the lie. Honestly, sounds legit to me.
I mean, it could be a bus,
True.
bigger plane.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that's is playing ground. If playing ground is car, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Make
Maybe
him
throw
an
in
acronym.
a
Technically,
few
yes.
more words next time to make your message a little more clear.
Why
But,
use more words when few words do
Few
trick?
words work.
Or
Yeah.
however that quote goes. I mess it up probably, but
You can go to our website, thegwcpod.com, or just message us on YouTube, Discord, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
all the things.
Send us a message. We'll put it on the show. Oh, man. Is that it? Is that all we got?
Sounds like
Dover.
Dega
Oh,
week.
Dover.
Dover. Nope.
What
Dover.
are we expecting for Dover, guys?
I don't know.
I don't remember how good the race was last year. I'm
I don't
So-
blanking on that.
You mentioned that, and this was a Monday race.
That's right.
That-
That's right.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was. And this is also the Ross versus Larson race.
Oh yeah.
Part 1.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is when Toyota really started to show their stuff last year. So,
MGJ.
yeah, it was a race. I don't know. It doesn't, like, looking at it, I don't think we were too excited. It was the Truex sweep weekend. Ryan won Xfinity.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just like, it's hard to get excited for anything that's not a 1.5 right now.
I know. I used to love Dover so much. Like, it used to be one of my favorite tracks. But
They'll
I hope-
probably be shifting, and that's just gonna.
I know.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm really hoping North Wilkes, we get this softer tire and it turns into kind of a every track kind of thing where we actually have tire wear.
That would be
But
cool.
It is the same tires last year. So I don't know.
Yay.
We saw the racing. But I mean, obviously the reason that Ross and Larson got into it was because they knew if on the restarts they had to get every position they can because you can't pass, right? And they wrecked each other. So that's yeah. And I got one bet for Dover right now, and that's Hamlin top 5 at even money plus 100. I'm all about that. Like, I think Hamlin's got a really good shot to win. I think Truex does, but we'll see. And then, I mean, Larson and Byron, and then like Denny's in there somewhere. I think he gets top 5, unless if he gets wrecked or JDR Pickers strikes again. But his is the fastest one right now, so it don't matter. Yep.
It does when they don't put a fucking lug nut on.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, we got anything else to talk about? Oh, I'll be at Kansas Speedway in the media section next weekend after Dover. So if you have any questions you want to try to get me to ask, go ahead and submit those. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Be a good
We'll
weekend.
we'll media access.
Yes, sir. Did you ever try for Darlington?
I think Drake and I just have too much going on that weekend to make it work. Unfortunately, it's Mother's Day, and my sister's having a kid around then, so I can't be fully committed to a weekend in Darlington, sadly.
I mean, well, hopefully now we're about to have a little uptick. Like, I think we talked about this last week. You know, this stretch here after Dega. I think
it'll be good. Yeah, we'll definitely be shooting for fall Darlington though, for sure.
Yeah, Dover, Kansas, Darlington, North Wilkes.
Darlington, North Wilkes. Charlotte. Yep.
So hopefully month of May is gonna give us some improvements.
Man.
I feel like these races just shit. Yeah.
After May though, man, it's just like you almost feel like you're halfway through the season.
I mean, you are. We're in a couple weeks.
Halfway
we're
through
gonna be
the regular
halfway through
season.
regular season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Crazy. Okay.
goes
On that
quick.
note, I think I'm done for the week. See you next week. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. See you.
Bye.
See ya.
Love you. For
Oh,
Austin.
hit the wrong button. Yay.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checker Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWC Pod for the podcast, at Biggles TV for Zach, at ShakenDrake_TTV for Austin, at Picks by Fitz for Andrew, and at J_Sully10 for Joe. Head over to thegwcpod.com to submit a question for our OnlyFans segment. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you again next episode.
Football season may be over, but for frequency's sake still has you covered for all your sporting needs. Tune in every Sunday when the best professional wrestling podcast around, Cards Subject to Change, gets you caught up on everything inside the ropes. They won't miss a count with weekly analysis and interviews. More into auto racing? We've got a double dose for you on the track. Tune in to Fast Money with Rod Villagomez each week and win some money with the quickest bets in all of sports. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your basketball fix? Points in the Paint has you covered, with live shows every other week looking at everything in the association. Backed by popular demand, we have the return of The Payoff Pitch, FFSQC's baseball show, covering you on news around the MLB. If you're missing football, don't fret. Mark and Dan still have you covered in the football lounge. Missing Joe Winkle? Probably not, but he's still here talking sports on Educated Ignorance. Football season might be over, but we've still got you covered. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
For frequency's sake is brought to you by Durham Remodeling, serving the Quad City area's remodeling and repair needs since 1973. Clint's Draft House, grab a bite and a pint. 7th Street Moline. Lopez, New York-style pizza served up by the slice or pie, Davenport. Lifted Energy, energy drinks, coffee, donuts, and more. #GetLifted. Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles. Sports cards and memorabilia, vintage clothing, hats, pennants, and more. Ryan Allison Tattoo. Step into the vibrant world of tattoos with Ryan Allison. And A Cut Above, offering quality custom woodwork designed specifically around our customers.